Mm. Hello everyone, in this second video we're going to quickly explain the second phase of your replanning or planning, and this means that we're going to discuss some of the blue sessions that you can see here in the agenda. So basically all the red sessions and the blue sessions mean that you are practically filling in the LC planning framework. So you can see here that some of those blue sessions, they are specifically about your products. So after you have done the full analysis of your LC and the current state, you can move towards setting your goals for winter peak for the products that you are running, and also setting your strategies for those products. So again, you can see the session outlines here. So we're going to discuss basically the OGV strategy setup and OGV goals scoreboard, and then the same thing applies when you are running multiple products. So basically we are talking about these tabs right here where it says OGV goal, OGV how, and timeline. And then of course if you're running more products, then you have more tabs in your framework, and then you will also find there IGT goal, for example, and instead of OGV how, it will say per strategies. So basically you start with the goal setting. So this is the only tab that at first sight can look a bit complicated, and for which you should probably really check this video to fully understand how to fill in this tab. So before you start filling it in, there's one thing that is quite important, which is these green cells right here, where SMC, we already recommend you within which you should plan your goals. So basically we did a full analysis of your LC, not just the current state, but also the past history and the current management state. And as you can see for VUB, for example, we are recommending that for winter peak, they plan not lower than 10 approvals, but also not higher than 15 approvals. So each time the frame that we are suggesting is ambitious yet achievable and realistic. So you already know that you need to pick a number basically between 10 and 15. For OGV, we are planning from approved. For IGT, you will see that you're planning from realized, basically because of the different product cycles. So the yellow tabs are the first ones that you need to fill. So you can see here in this column what was your past conversion rate in this period, and you can see those conversions here exactly because you have actually filled in this analysis here, and the conversion has been calculated here. So then you can see that for winter peak here, the same percentages are coming back here. So basically, if I am VUB, I plan that I want to do those 15 approvals, and afterwards I plan my conversion rates. Keep in mind that it's not that easy to drastically improve a conversion rate unless you are aware of what was really missing in the past time, or if there was really any screw up that was happening. So for example, a conversion from approval to realized is only 50%, is extremely low, and this was probably this low because of very slow process time, meaning that many of those people still got realized, but maybe very, very late. For example, if your strategy is to do approvals in November already for summer peak, then this is an okay conversion rate, because out of all of the approvals that you are doing, half of them are realizing in winter peak and half of them are realizing months later in summer already. So let's say I want to keep this conversion rate. I want 100% conversion rate here, 35%, and 20%. So what you need to do is you decide on your approvals and you decide on your conversion rates. Automatically, this tells you how much you need to achieve in each of the different stages of the customer flow. So now that you have these numbers, what you need to do is decide how much you are going to do in each of the different months. So basically I need to do 214 signups throughout my entire winter peak timeline. And of course, I am aware that most of those signups should be coming in between August and October, and that I can also still have some in the months of November. So for this reason, I plan my peak in October. I plan that there should be 50% of my signups coming in October. So I fill 50%. This tab automatically tells me that it means that I need to do 107 signups in October. Great. I can go up here and go to October and divide according to the month each times in the planned tabs how many signups I am going to do. And it will calculate here. So when you divide, of course, you need to make sure that the ultimate result here is the same as what you have here, 107. It's very straightforward. The only thing that you need to keep in mind is, of course, you see that the cells are colored here. So basically, green cells, it means that this is the peak moment when most of the results in this stage of the customer flow should be coming in. Then you can see that gradually this green turns into orange, meaning that yes, you can still do signups here, but you're already pushing it and you are at the final moment of the timeline. And eventually it will turn red, meaning that there's already planned 0 for you, because here you're completely off timeline for signups. And of course, sometimes we are still getting signups in this period organically or because we are really behind on timeline and we keep pushing. But of course, we are not going to plan from start to be behind on timeline. So that is why we are planning 0 there. And all of your results should be divided amongst the green and the orange parts. So cool. That is basically it for the goal setting part. So it means that at the end, you're always going to see here what is your total planned. And it is important that after this goal setting and after this replanning, you start using this tab very actively and you use it as a scoreboard. So every week during EB meetings, you are updating what you have achieved, and you can each time compare it towards your plans, so you know what you need to catch up or whether you are on schedule. And also in the end, it is going to tell you exactly how many you are still missing to achieve your winter peak goal. That is it. Now, of course, when you set goals, it needs to be going with strategies. So in the next tab, you are also asked to plan your main product strategies. To plan those strategies, it's important that you keep in mind what is the goal, and also that you keep in mind all the analysis that you have done in the earlier parts. For example, if you have noticed that you had a very, very poor conversion rate from, I don't know, from accepted to approved, and during your customer calls, your customers told you that it was taking you at least 1 week before you would be sending them a contract and invoice after they are accepted, then you already know that that is a conversion thing that you really need to work on, and that might be one of your main conversion strategies, is to shorten the process time in this part of the flow. This is just an example, but it is important that you actually think things through, that you made a proper analysis, and that you are ready to act strategically. Then, of course, for all of the action steps that you set, it's important to also map it out on the timeline. So these are the 3 main tabs that you need to fill to figure out how you want to grow your product. That is it for stage 2 of your replanning. I hope everything's clear, and as always, if you have any questions, you can just approach me or Maggie, your new MCVP DM.